So what I'm going to do is to do a review of the Vivitar HDMC AF high definition 0.43x wide angle converter with macro. I have an interest in using it with my Panasonic G7 camera. Previously I used this converter with my Canon XA10, and you can see that review at the link below, and I really didn't get very good results using it with my Canon XA10. However, in using the lens with my Panasonic G7, I'm seeing some pretty good results if the camera is set up properly. So what I'm going to do is to compare using this adapter on two different lenses. What I'm using with my Panasonic G7 is the old Canon FD lenses, and I'm using a Photocy adapter to adapt the Canon lenses to my G7. And the particular lenses that I'm going to review are the Canon 50mm FD lens 1.4 and the Canon 28mm FD lens, which is a 2.8. So this picture shows the Canon FD 50mm lens used with the micro four thirds adapter on the G7 with the wide angle lens adapter, the Vivitar wide angle lens adapter attached. In this particular photo, what I'm showing is that the 50mm is set to 1.4 aperture, so it's wide open at this point. And in this picture, what you can see is a pretty distorted image. I mean, it's the photo is focused as best as possible with the current settings. So what I learned from this particular setting is that using the 50mm lens, you generally can't operate with the aperture wide open while using this wide angle lens adapter from Vivitar. However, I did notice when I stopped down the lens aperture to 2.8 that the image cleared up dramatically. So this is what you see here, where I'm shooting a picture of a 28mm FD lens, which I'm going to show some results for that as well. And again, the image sharpened up pretty well. Now what we're looking at is where I have the aperture set to 5.6. So again, you know, it sharpened up again. So, you know, I'm at this point, I'm starting to get excited because I didn't get these kind of results that I did when I used this particular wide angle lens adapter on my XA10. At this point, we're looking at a picture of the lens set to a setting of f/22, and you know, it's only getting better from this point as far as sharpness. So, and I don't see any distortions being caused by the wide angle lens adapter, as I had noticed when I used it with my Canon XA10. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to swap out lenses, and I'm going to go over to using the 28mm lens that you see currently in this photo. I'm going to swap it out and to use the 28mm lens on the camera, just to get a different feel for how a different lens behaves with the wide angle lens adapter. So now I have the 28mm attached to the wide angle lens adapter, and I'm starting out here shooting with the aperture of 2.8, which is the lowest for this 28mm FD Canon lens. And again, I'm pleased with the result. The next photo is where I set the aperture to a 5.6, and the results look decent as well. It's only getting sharper as I stop down. Finally, I'm at an aperture of f11, and in all cases, the image is quite sharp and very usable. In this picture, I've removed the wide angle lens adapter. You can see it here sitting on the table. And also, what we're just showing is the 50mm FD lens. So I'm just shooting with the 28mm lens. And again, you know, this is just to give you a comparison of the type of quality I'm getting without the wide angle lens adapter, shooting with the 28mm lens. So in doing this review, it has really surprised me to see that this wide angle lens adapter, the Vivitar 0.43x wide angle lens adapter, has performed as well as it has, particularly from my previous experience in using it with the Canon X810. At this point, I would say that at the price of about $13 on Amazon, it may be worth giving it a try.